am now recording, and we hit 80. All right, take it away.
Hey, welcome everyone. Happy Friday. I'm sure you all are hoping for the end of the week as much as I am. I'm ready to go home. If that's where you find yourself this weekend. Next slide. We have a couple classic things and then some interesting things for the presentation to go through today. We also have a Hack RPI testimonial from one of our very own mentors. So let's get into the upcoming workshops. Next slide.
Sorry, I was taking a sip. There we go.
Okay, so note that these are long ways from now, after break, but definitely check them out. These are the last two currently scheduled workshops, though there's been some talk amongst mentors of offering some ones after these as well, so keep an eye out for further announcements. But we have JSON Web Tokens by ACE on the 2nd at 5 p.m., and then a deep dive into Telescopes architecture by Naya, so a project lead going into kind of a deep dive into how their project runs and all that. So definitely check both of those out. And that one is on December 9th. Next slide. Now, Bill, I think.
Hello, can you hear me?
Very loud and clear.
Can.
All right, that's good. So I made this project for Hack RPI. Like I okay, so I can sort of talk about the project.
Yeah, if you want me to click on anything, let me know wherever you want to go.
So I can sort of state the basics. I should have included the GitHub as a link. I should message. It's in the dev post. So if you scroll down and then you go to the GitHub. So essentially, I can sort of summarize what it was supposed to do. Um, so when I went to vote this year, I noticed that like at specific voting booths, like booths to register, booths to sort of sign in, I guess. I don't know what you would call it, but booths where you would go, like they were sorted by election district, and you would go to the booth with that was your election district, and then they would give you your ballot. I noticed that they had like a cup of pens for you to fill in your ballot. They had like a tablet for you to sign in on. They had stickers lying around, and so I came up with this idea that so like what if you placed, and usually in these places you would have like surveillance cameras, right? I don't know if all voting sites have surveillance cameras, but you could add some. Um, so I came up with this idea. So like, what if you place a surveillance camera like in like a normal surveillance camera, like it probably in like the one of the corners of the ceiling of the room, and you could track every inanimate object in the room, and you could track how many times a certain inanimate object has been touched, and you could also recognize if it was cleaned or like removed and then replaced in the room. So uh, I just first took so my sample space was basically I streamed my webcam video of my desk into like a video stream online. Then I plugged it into a neural net and basically processed chunk by chunk, um, like different objects presence on the in the stream. The only problem was I didn't include hands in my tracking in my training data set for my neural net, so I wasn't able to implement that feature of like tracking how many times a certain object was touched. But I did get pretty far in terms of working through the cloud computing aspects of my project. So, uh, Professor, if you could go back and click on the website, on my website, sorry, in this slide.
This one?
No, and the other link, sorry.
The other link.
Yeah.
You are fussy.
Sorry. So this is a bit big, so you might need to zoom out. Um, you might need to zoom out. I think that's control minus.
Oh, I'm sorry. I see what you're saying. I thought you wanted me to. There we go.
Yeah, so you can click. Oh, that's a little bit too far, but yeah. So you can click on one of the stream. Like these are all approximately 1 second ish chunks. And essentially, what I did was I took the JSON for each of these chunks and I rendered. So it grabs a video from the storage container and it also basically using HTML and CSS draws the boxes around each of the certain objects in the video frame. And so I'm pretty certain my front end wasn't as pretty as the judges wanted it to be. So yeah, that was that. But yeah, the only thing that was local, like the thing that's special about this project is the only thing that was local was my webcam stream, and everything else was done in the cloud. So the reading the video was done in the cloud, processing it using neural net, storing the information is all done in the cloud. So I mean, I can answer some questions after today's meeting if anybody wants to know more about it. But yeah, this is basically my project.
All right. Thank you, Bill. So again, we got some good participation at Hack RPI, and for those of you who, and you can see we had some cool explorations of technology. How's that? Over the last couple of weeks, and there were other things going on as well. Talking to potential employers or different companies that were there. Going to some of the other types of webinars that were or seminars that were presented. So, please kind of keep this in mind for next year. I think that Hack RPI is a very cool kind of activity. I've actually been a judge for this on at least one occasion, and I will probably be again. So kind of maybe I'll judge you next year.
Conflict of interest?
You know what? Yeah, but you guys get it harder than everybody else because I expect more from you.
Great. Thanks again, Bill. And feel free, everyone, to reach out to him afterwards if you have any questions. So just a reminder due for this week, your attendance, of course, at the end of this meeting, and your status update. Next slide. So, someone's not muted.
All right. So one of the things that we want to make sure everybody understands, the mid-year review is an evaluation. We were trying to give you a checkpoint along the way so that you know kind of where you stand and whether you need to kick it into gear a lot or just a little, because nobody gets to coast. So it doesn't actually count in your grades. So if you got like a 3 or a 15, it doesn't actually, both of those are, well, one of them's recoverable and the other one is losable. So just please, keep that in mind. This shouldn't be a moment of panic. It should be a moment of realization that it's time to kind of make some, if you're not getting the grade, if you're not doing the work that you expected to be doing, then kind of kick it into gear and get some stuff done. And while we love code contributions, remember that not everything needs to be a code contribution. Contributions to all open source projects. All open source projects like to get non-code contributions as well, because building the community, anybody who's worked in an open source, big open source project, just maintaining the community is really a difficult thing, and having to reach out and having things in place that help you to build the community or that help you to manage or engage people in the community is can be very useful. So make sure that you are getting your contributions in. They don't necessarily have to all be code contributions. Code contributions are appreciated and loved, but please, this is not a reason to panic. Final review, well, there's the time to panic, I guess. But just take note of what you were told or what you got and kind of adjust accordingly. If you got load, talk to your mentor, your small group leader, your project lead, something, and try to work through what you need to do. We have presentations starting actually on Tuesday. So we're going to have 4. I think we started off with 3 a few days ago, but we're going to have 4 people present. We're going to have Telescope, Venue, Yaks, and Shuttle Tracker. They will all present on Tuesday. You are all welcome to attend. You're welcome to attend any of these. You're also welcome to only attend the session where you are actually required to present. It's kind of up to you. We let you decide whether you're interested. The whole idea was we didn't want to force people to attend presentations they weren't interested in. It results in disruptions and excess noise and just, isn't as conducive to really good meetings. But we do want to make this open for everybody. If you attend, you are requested but not required to make an evaluation. And I think I pointed out the evaluation form last meeting, but it looks like this. There are essentially 6 areas we evaluate, right? From effectiveness of presentation, title, teammates. Title and teammates should be an automatic 20%. You would be surprised how many people forget to put on the title or their teammates. Description. All of these are rubric items. The rubric is here. Well, this is this is the form. Right? If you're there, you're going to be asked to fill out this evaluation. You're going to present. The way we're going to have it right now is I think we're going to have 2 groups per day or two parallel tracks per day. And you'll present to Professor Kuzmin or myself and your peers and your mentors and your coordinators. This is what the form looks like. I think I had this in twice. Yeah, okay. This is what the form looks like. Down below are the rubric items. The rubric is really kind of simple. Effectiveness of a presentation. This is how well how well was it presented? This is acting points or ability to tell a story kind of points. The title, teammates. This should be pretty much given for everybody. This is an easy 20% right here. But the idea is that if I can't tell who's on the team, then I have a hard time making sure that we got the evaluation right, making sure the grades are correct. So I need to know who's on the team. I also need to know what the team is. So I need to know that you're working on Venue or Shuttle Tracker or Telescope or whatever the Yaks, right? So if I don't know what the project is and I don't know who the team members are, it's really hard for me to give them a grade. Description. The description really should be at a high level, what are you trying to do? So that we all are kind of grounded in what you're trying to accomplish. And then in a low level, what was your goal? What were your goals? How did you try to advance towards your vision during this semester? This is an open source project, at least it had better be. So we do want you to put some thought into how it's organized with respect to open source goals, encouraging new contributors, etc. I do want to point out that there's not a right answer here. Small projects with 2 people who are just getting started have vastly different concerns than projects that are 15 people that have been going for 4 years and have a big history and a big issue list that that needs to be tracked. So not having stuff is okay. Not thinking about whether you need stuff is not. So I want to know what your thoughts are, where you stand. If you're going to grow, where are you planning on putting your effort, etc. So just how you're going to organize yourself to position yourself for other people to join, to position yourself to continue, to position yourself to grow. And then you'll notice that the last thing is progress. We do like to see progress. You don't have to hit all your milestones, but I want to hear how you went after your milestones, and I want to know if you didn't hit your milestones, what kind of things did you what things did you configure around, what turned out to be intractable, why did you end up doing what you actually accomplished, how did you get there from your milestones. So that's really the presentation rubric. We go from 1 to 5 points on these. Generally, we don't see very many ones. By the time you get to this point, hopefully you've reviewed this. Go over, ask your small group mentor or your project lead to review the presentation, or I guess your small group mentor, because your project lead should be part of the presentation before you come in, before you present. And, think about showing up on Tuesday. Think about attending the presentations on Tuesday. We'll kick off Tuesday with a little, 3 or 4 slides just to get things started. Everybody should be here for that. But after that, think about being here for the presentations or viewing the presentations later on the recording, because it is nice. You will see all of these people, all of these projects that have presented before, so they're aware of what we're looking for, and it would be good for those of you, particularly those of you new, to get some feedback. Rubric goes from excellent to needs work or not addressed. All right, so we hope to get a lot of 5s and a lot of 4s, and we hope that 3 is about as low as we have to go. So please make sure you address each one of the rubric bullets. All right. I think, Frank, this is back to you.
Yes, just a little note to add on to that. As you saw in the rubric, it's not that hard. We're not asking too much of you. So please make sure you don't miss the stuff like the title and your teammates. We'd hate to kind of mark you down for that. So just make sure you look at the rubric. And we'll be posting all the links that you see here today, a lot of different links and documents and rubrics on the server, so you don't have to go through these slides again. And so for the schedule, we figured the best way to handle this asynchronously, this semester at least, is just in the Google Sheets. So we'd like to ask all project leads, just so there's no confusion, please talk with your project members and figure out which of these days you'd like to present. There's 4 other days, the 1st, 4th, 8th, and 11th. So project leads, please go to the spreadsheet. We'll have the link posted. And simply put the name of your project in the column for whatever day you choose. And we ask that established projects put their date as somewhat earlier. And newer projects, give them space to put at the end, just so that new projects have a chance to look at presentations beforehand, see what's expected, get a good idea of that. And as you see, Friday the 11th is grayed out a bit. That's the very last day of RCOS, and we usually want to take that time to do kind of a review of the semester and kind of, celebrate everything we've accomplished. So it's kind of, don't choose that slot unless the other days are filling up or full, basically. So that's kind of overflow. I think we will have to take it, but lean more towards the other days first, please. And we ask that you do this by the 24th. So over the weekends, please discuss with your teammates. So it won't be too big an issue if you fill in your spots after that. But please, if you have schedule issues with your project members or anything, please do this sooner rather than later so the slots don't fill up for the day that you want. If you have any questions about that, feel free to ask any of us on the server. Anything I missed, Professor? Is that a pretty good description?
I think you've got a whole nother slide.
Yes. Just for the details on what we're expecting.
I gave that one to you.
Presentations are pretty short. Yeah, about 10 minutes. And we'll try to have a very short Q&A period to follow each of these. The great thing about everything being asynchronous, you can kind of reach out to the project leads anytime afterwards. And we're going to try to do around 10 per day but instead of having everyone for that day sit and watch 10 presentations, we're going to try to do kind of 2 concurrent tracks. So 2 projects are going at the same time in 2 different WebExes, and we're still ironing out the details of that since we don't want to make it take forever for everyone. So keep your presentations concise, stick to that rubric. You can ask in the server for examples of past presentations, and I'm sure lots of project leads will be able to send some examples from previous semesters to you. Just focus on keeping them concise. And that is all I've got.
Awesome. So attendance, and of course, all the time I was sitting there waiting for people to roll in. Today I forgot to set up the attendance. I mean, not on Submittee, but I did forget to go and get it configured ahead of time. So here's venue. This lecture 23 already? Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
It is. All right, so here's our little floaty guy. And let's see, does everything show this one too? Nope.
Are you still there, Professor?
I am still here. It's just being persnickety today. Normally I set this up ahead of time.
We just see
Okay,
all black.
we'll go back. Yeah, so do I on that screen. Okay, we'll go back to this. You can't even see the pop-up right now, which makes it hard for me to figure out how I'm going to show both of them. I know what I'll do. In the chat, I'm going to enter the chat message. And the chat message is presentations. That is our Submittee word of the day. All right, so it is. Is venue really slow for anyone else? Hunter says yes. Didn't seem to be slow for me, but that's not really saying much. So there's the QR code. There's the presentations is the Submittee password, I hope. I will verify that while we're still talking here just to make sure you guys can do that correctly. And, go forth in small group, I guess, is... I'll stick around here till right around 6 o'clock or so, or when the pizza comes. I think my wife's ordering a pizza tonight. So you guys may lose me if the pizza comes before 6, but it shouldn't be too long. It should be set up in.
Yeah, it's showing. It's not showing on.
It's not showing. Okay, apparently I didn't release it. So it is all set up. It's just not released, which I don't understand because I remember distinctly releasing it. But maybe I released the. You guys can see this the status update as well, right? Okay, so I'll make sure that this attendance is right. Yeah, here's presentations. That's what I have in there. Okay, there's my password that actually worked. I got full credit for that, so you should be able to use that one too. Let me just make sure that I have the attendance set up with the right deadlines. But we are ready. Anything else we need? Like I said, I'll hang out here until either the pizza arrives or 6 o'clock. Okay, everything's set up correctly now, I think. So you guys should be good to go. So Brody, CYA is always followed by N. Cyan. It's not Cia. Okay, that was really bad. So for any of you who have taken operating systems, I have a joke about UDP, but you might not get it. That was the entire joke.